Hi everyone. Today have a really special guest, and it's a part of her her challenge, her preconception challenge. She's a naturopath, a herbalist actually, in Tamworth, and she does online and in clinic fertility programs, and she's the absolute go-to with regard to fertility. And as part of her preconceive challenge, she has started interviewing people with regard to different areas to help you conceive, and one of those can be weight loss. And so we're just hopefully able to have a little bit of a live session with her today. Let's just see if she turns up. We've been having some tech difficulties, and at the moment, let's have a little look, see if I can invite and this. So bring them on camera. It's adding. Let's see if this works. There she is.
Hi Zoe, it worked. I'm so happy this worked.
So I'm not sure, Kyra, if all of your details for the Zoe Morosini nutrition community, I'm not sure if all of your details have gone up properly with linking you. So if it's okay, I'll link your page somehow down the bottom, and all of the preconceived challenge details as well, if that's possible.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
So, and if not, I'll put another post. We'll work out how to get it. So, just as a bit of context, this actually was supposed to be an interview flipped the other way, and this was supposed to be on Kyra's page, interviewing me about weight loss, because we'd like to focus on conception and increasing your chances of fertility. So I'm going to let Kyra take the stage and ask the questions, and then if you need any direction in terms of where to go to get more information from Kyra, I'll put that up on my page as well. So I'll let you take away.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Zoe. Yeah, this is kind of different being flipped and I'm like the guest, but yeah, anyway. So, so I wanted to start off with asking you about obstacles for weight loss. Like when people are trying to lose weight and they're doing all the restrictive eating and exercising all the time, and they're not really seeing much results. Like as a holistic practitioner, what are some of the other obstacles that you see for weight loss?
So I think we know the general obstacles, and even though the message these days is about calorie deficits and reducing the intake of food, that's really only, whether that is even relevant, is only a component of effective and sustained weight loss. So from a holistic perspective, stress is probably one of the key obstacles to losing weight. In my clients, I see stress as almost a fundamental problem across the board, because it messes primarily with hormones that are also associated with fertility, but also things like the effect of processed foods on the body, how the body has to metabolize that, the effect of just not doing enough exercise for you, long work days, even the actual inhibition of the ability to spend time with your partner because you're busy. But I have to be honest, the absolute top, if I were to be asked about what the top obstacle to weight loss is, it's a mindset that is limiting.
Yeah.
And it comes down to people not believing that they can lose weight, and people believing getting in their own road, basically. And it comes down to really providing confidence in people again, because most of my clients have been dealing with not losing weight effectively for a long time, and that does the world of damage to confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that mindset affects, not just weight loss, but also I use mindset training a lot with fertility as well. Our minds affect so many different factors of our health. So I'm really glad that you've brought that one up. So I would absolutely love to know, how do you help your clients lose weight? What are, some of the biggest tips that you can share with us today?
So I tend to, as you have mentioned in one of your earlier introductions, but I don't know whether it will go live or not, is that I have a habit-based approach. Rather than giving people a structured diet to follow, we tend to do a lot of habit work early on. So we spend a lot of time up front looking at the current way they're approaching food and the current habits that they have. And that is predominantly eating habits. But if there is sort of, from a holistic perspective, once we get a couple of those fundamental habits changed and down pat and practiced, we then incorporate a diet. So over that time, I get to know them and their body really well and what it needs. And we sort of, if it's for fertility, for example, we would then interject the fertility side of things, or if they're working, say, with a herbalist as well, we would look at what they're doing with the herbalist and then combine the two therapies together. And once we identify a diet that works well, or certain types of food that work really well for them, once they have the overlaid, the fundamental principles of eating habits down pat, then they take on the diet. And it usually works really well because they're relaxed and they're a lot more in tune with the habits that they need to incorporate, that are weight loss habits. And then they take on the diet rather than just jumping into a straight diet. And it works beautifully. They have confidence and they know what's right for their body, and they usually sort of take off from there.
No, that is amazing. Like, because I feel that with a habit-based approach, it makes weight loss seem really quite, almost effortless. Like, it's like, just something that you just can easily incorporate into your life. Like, is that what you find?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the easiest way. I think it's remiss of anybody to say that weight loss is ever easy. It's not.
Yeah.
And the body tends to defend the weight that it is at, and changing your behavior when we in fact typically have our behaviors set up because we want them to be there. We, for example, someone who has a stressful life, it's usually around a job or a family situation, and the habits that we currently have are usually coping strategies. And so when you're asking people to change things that help alleviate stress, or things that help them cope with their day-to-day life, which often food is, you're asking really big things. And that's why people fail. It's because they're trying to change fundamental behaviours without the support.
Yes, absolutely.
So So the aim is to make it as easy as possible and as effortless as possible. But if anybody embarks a weight loss program thinking it's going to be effortless, they're barking up the wrong tree, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I would love to know a bit more about weight loss and fertility. Could you tell us a bit more about how losing some weight can help improve someone's chances of conceiving?
So in my experience, weight loss only works for people in fertility if they need to lose weight and if it's impacting negatively on their reproductive health. So it's not for everybody. And a nutritionist or a herbalist or a naturopath or a doctor will absolutely be able to tell you whether that, or give you a good idea as to whether that would be useful or not for you. Overweight and obesity rates are associated with higher rates of miscarriage, higher rates of menstrual difficulties and lack of ovulation. This also applies to IVF. So if you are trying to conceive using IVF and you're overweight, then there's a really good chance that those reduced rates of fertility apply to you as well. So that's the main reason, is it's basically just harder. It's harder to conceive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's biochemical reasons, which I can go into at some point.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So I would love for you to tell us a bit more about your weight loss cheat sheet. Yeah, because ideally we were going to have this live on my page, but yes, please
Yes.
do tell us anyway about your weight loss cheat sheet, because I'm sure everyone on your page is also going to want to know more about this as well.
So it's a culmination of what I see in clinic and what I believe is the most effective way to tackle weight loss, especially for clients who have either lost a lot of weight in the past but then put it back on again, or clients that just can't get started. And it sort of addresses all of those holistic aspects. So the confidence side of things, the hormonal side of things, and well, apologies, it's mainly addressing the confidence, because I believe that's the first step, is to change the confidence. Yeah. And then my job as a clinician is to change the hormones and the diet and the stress and all of that stuff. But it just, so it does those things. It gets people started using the habit-based framework. But then in addition to that, it just gives you an insight into how I work as a practitioner. So it gives you a little bit of an idea as to what sort of approach I would take and how I would get you started.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. And I love that it really addresses the confidence first, because once you have that confidence, like, it does make the flow on to, like, you know, you really believe that you can take those steps to lose weight. So yeah, I think that's absolutely beautiful. So everyone can download the weight loss cheat sheet on Zoe's website, which is zoemorosini.com. And I think that pretty much covers our interview for today. Was there anything else that you wanted to add, Zoe?
No, absolutely not. There's certainly a lot of theory underlying the weight loss and fertility thing. So if anybody's interested, there's certainly a couple of papers that we can pop up if that's of interest to anybody, because there's certainly, I would promote talking to someone like Kyra about fertility, just because there's many different impacts that weight can have, and depending on where it's affecting you personally is where we begin to treat.
Yes, absolutely. That is so correct. Yeah. Well, it has been absolutely amazing chatting to you today, Zoe. Thank you so much for persevering about technological issues, and yeah, we finally got to chat. Yay! Awesome.
All right, I'm going to turn it off, and we'll put all of the details on both of our sites so that you can find more information.
Right. Yeah, perfect. Thanks so much. Bye.